Life's About Living. I'm Dr. Page, the best guy to see on the worst day of your life. I have with me today Dr. Jeremy Smith. Now, Jeremy is a good friend of mine. He's not a surgeon. He's actually one of those guys that remembered everything that I forgot in medical school, okay? So he's a primary care physician. He is the classic doctor who you want to see. I tell people I'm the best guy to see on the worst day of your life. Dr. Smith is the best guy to see any day of your life. He keeps me away from you, okay? So Dr. Smith is part of the solution and not part of the problem to the healthcare crisis that we're facing. Jeremy.
Chuck.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Man, I'm so glad to have you on the show and tell us what you know about direct primary care. Now, we've talked a little bit about, in the last episode, about what concierge medicine is, what direct primary care is. Tell me about businesses in particular. Say if you're a small business owner, how does direct primary care help you as opposed to going with classical insurance model? I mean, what do you offer people that it's such a win-win situation? Why are people so excited about this?
Cool. So employers have to do something in the benefit realm, which comes with a lot of legal structure. So it has to be done correctly. So it's hard. That's another way of saying it's overcomplicated and it's hard, but it has to be followed. Now, if employers are looking at health insurance, they need to understand that's what they're buying.
Right.
Insurance is for catastrophic things,
right,
and it doesn't apply to day-to-day things.
So it's not preventative.
It's not putting gas in the car, changing wiper blades, brake pads,
right,
getting the alignment done. No, it's for my tailgate just got ripped off my truck, and they cost $6,000 to repair. I'm glad I have insurance for that. But insurance companies are trying to grow into that day-to-day thing and micromanage even the filling up of the tank.
Right.
Going to your primary care doctor should not be on the list of things that insurance is paid for. But
right,
the perception is, and these companies offer these full solution packages, but they are loaded with fat. They're too expensive, and they're crushing companies. Next to payroll.
And primary care doctors. I mean, I don't think
course.
people, if you tried to find a primary care doctor these days, I mean, you need to realize it's really hard to find a doctor. Now, you can find a doctor with 5 or 6 nurse practitioners, mm-hmm, but to have that classic relationship with your doctor is something that's pretty much almost gone with the wind, and that's what Jeremy's trying to bring back.
For sure. And insurance is not where you find that.
Right.
So employers have been kind of buying this, what they think is this full solution, but it's not. It's too expensive. It's causing businesses to go out of
right, just because of the cost of paying for insurance.
They can't compete. So direct primary care is a solution for patients and doctors.
Right.
Now, the question is...
And businesses.
That's the question. Can businesses purchase this for you?
Right.
So businesses can buy anything they want for their employees.
Wow.
But they can't write it off as a business expense unless the IRS says that's a legitimate business expense. So
right,
when I started out...
This is the complicated part.
Before I knew, I'd have businesses say, this is great, Jeremy, can you do this for my 5 employees? I'm like, yeah, this is how much it costs. I'll give you a discount. And it'll be great. And then they call and go, my accountant says I can't write this off because it's not part of a qualified expense under the Obamacare, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I got to learn about this.
Lost in the loopholes.
So fast forward. In order for a business to pay for this, which it's welcome to do anytime,
right,
but write it off as a business expense, it has to sit inside of a thing. That thing can be a major medical plan, which we can design.
Right.
That thing can be a minimal essential coverage plan, a skinny plan that just barely qualifies for insurance. Or it can sit inside an HRA. If an employer...
An HRA, what's that?
Health reimbursement account.
Okay.
Health reimbursement account, something the
So
IRS
you found the
allows.
loophole in order to do this.
I found the legal structures that you can put it in.
Okay. The legal structures.
If you want to write it off. So the tax breaks for me, expensing my HRA, my direct primary care doctor, all this for my employees inside of an HRA, it costs less to put it in the HRA legally compared to what now I can write off.
Right.
It more than pays for itself.
Right.
So, yes, employers can do this, and they can do it on a spectrum of hey, I want to reimburse for your services, and we have we can do labs and we can do
Right.
we can do things.
A cornucopia of selections
How
and
much-
options that they can put onto that plate.
How much do you want to prepay for in a
Wow.
reimbursement?
Wow.
Or we can put it in any health plan that's out there.
Wow. So let's stop. So this is a win-win situation. So businesses save money. They have more control over the kind of care that their employees are getting, and the employees are happy because they have a one-on-one relationship with a primary care doctor who is actually proactive instead of reactive, as we talked about in the last session. And so it's a great situation. So how is this going for you, Jeremy?
Well, it's
It's out of the box, isn't it?
out
I
of
mean,
the
it's
box.
really out of the box.
It's out of the box. It's been a labor of love. It's been fun. It's taking off, and it's going to change healthcare. Some of that is taxing me. I'm getting gray because I have a practice to run, and
Right.
I've got a team working on this.
Right.
So it's hard. And if it wasn't hard, everyone would have already figured this out.
Right.
I am not special.
Right. If without a reward, there's no risk. There's no reward without a risk. So Jeremy, what motivated you? What motivated you to do this? I mean, I know that you moved out of what we call conventional medicine, of insurance and of Medicare, and of the kind of the rat race of medicine, and moved out into direct primary care, or some people call concierge medicine.
Yeah.
What motivated you to do that?
So that system's fee for service.
Right.
I had to do things to people to get paid.
Right.
That's counterintuitive to what I went to medical school for.
Right.
So when the breaking point was when I was working as hard as I could, doing the best I could, I made less and less money.
Right.
And I plotted it. Here's my cost, and here's the plot. It's going like this.
Right.
Here's my income, and the plot's coming like this. And I looked at it in 7 years, and these lines were going to intersect, and this is a hobby.
We've always joked that, we doctors are working ourselves into poverty. Everybody has this idea that we're, having these big vacations, to the Bahamas and driving big fancy cars. But for Jeremy, he drives an old truck, even one probably that's more broken down than I am. But it's really true. I mean, the system is broken, and the physicians, in a sense, are the ones that are, in a sense, suffering. But it's not just the physicians; it's the patients that are suffering. It's the businesses that are suffering.
So what?
And so this is a triple win kind of scenario that you're setting up.
Right. It is viable. It works. Unfortunately, the money's got to come from somewhere, and it was the folks in the equation that didn't need to be there that were siphoning the system.
Right. It was all the fat, all the fat.
Yeah. So
The swamp.
So everyone in the chain got weighed by me and said, are they valuable? Do they bring the value that they're sucking out of the system? And most people didn't. The litmus test was awful.
Okay, so Jimmy, tell me. So if you're in the audience and you're watching and you're wondering, okay, direct primary care sounds like something I'm interested in, or maybe you're a businessman who's interested in maybe finding out more about this, how can people contact you, Jeremy?
So I have email, Dr. Smith, Dr. Smith, at mymdselect.com
That's pretty easy.
or mymdconnect.com. They both come to me.
What was that email address again, Jeremy?
Dr. Smith
Dr. Smith
at
mymdconnect.com.
mymdconnect.com.
And this would be somebody that has a small business, maybe with 5 employees, and they're trying to get set up in a way to save money to keep their business afloat and to save money.
Business owners, insurance brokers that have also seen
Insurance brokers.
how bad this system is and wants to figure out how can I be part of the new products that go forward. Health plan consultants, they all contact me for advice. When it comes to patients, if they want to find a direct primary care doctor, they can just Google DPC doctor in my area. They're going to float to the top. When I started, there was half a dozen of us.
Right.
Now there's 2,000 of us across the nation.
Right.
It's the fastest growing consumer product for medicine out there.
Right. And it makes so much sense because the patients gain control of their health care. They take ownership. The doctors are happy because they're able to spend more time with people. I don't think you realize the stress that most physicians are under. I mean, we go into medicine because we like patients. We like to talk to patients and get to know patients. But the way the system is now, I mean, it's sucking the joy out of practicing medicine. So this is bringing the joy back into medicine. It's making patients happy. It's helping businesses. Jeremy, you're being part of the solution and not part of the problem. Wow, what a great idea. But what's so funny about it is it sounds so simple, but yet, of course, you're facing a lot of resistance. Jeremy, it's been great having you on Life's About Living. Let me remind you guys to subscribe. You can find our other talks with Dr. Smith on lifesaboutlivingshow.com, and you can subscribe by just texting LAL to 66866. I'm Dr. Page, the best guy to see on the worst day of your life, and I've had with me Dr. Jeremy Smith. He is the best guy to see any day of your life. Once again, Jeremy, before we go, tell us how people can contact you.
By email, Dr. Smith, Dr. Smith at mymdconnect.com.
And that sounds great.